out there by 1907. And he did not cross it. Now, he did cross up north of here, though, north of County.
All right, this is Ron Hart with the Samuel Proctor Oral History Program on the Mississippi Freedom Project 2022. Today is Tuesday, July 26th. It is about 5:50. We're in Holly Springs in Mr. Larry Rubin's house specifically. And I'm joined by
Christian Cassale,
Lauren King,
Patrick Ray,
Willett, Hancock.
Could you introduce yourself?
Yes, Jamarr Walton.
Okay, could you spell that for the record?
Jamarrwalton.
Okay, awesome. So to get started, could you just tell us where and when you were born?
Well, born June 18th, 1988, here in the great state of Mississippi, in New Albany, Mississippi, Union County Hospital. Yeah.
Okay. Could you talk a little bit about growing up, assuming you grew up in Mississippi?
Yes.
How was that for you?
So the experience here in Mississippi was fantastic. You know, the Southern culture saturated me with hospitality, a lot of my virtues and values, a respectable family, and a huge Bible Belt here in this area. So I did a lot of the outdoor things, hunting, fishing, four-wheeling, a lot of family gatherings, festivals and things of that nature with church and Thanksgiving and community organizing and things of that nature. So my raising here was smooth. Real smooth. I have a big village here in the Mid-South.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a big family? Like lots of
huge family on both sides. On my dad's side and my mom's side. So I know both my grandparents on my mom's side and both my grandparents on my father's side. Yes, huge family.
Mm-hmm. So siblings?
2 siblings, 2 sisters. I'm the eldest child out of 3. Yeah, I'm big bro. I'm a shot caller.
Give that off.
Yeah.
What about your parents? Were they from here?
Yes, parents born and raised here in Mississippi, the Marshall County area. I don't know the exact location. Never really asked my parents about that. But I know here in Holly Springs, I don't know the exact hospital, but I know here in Mississippi. Yeah, you know. I need to ask them about that.
Yeah. What do they do?
My mother is the deputy clerk for Marshall County. She works for a judge or under Judge Britnam. She's just retired from the state of Mississippi, and she got another state job. My dad is deceased. He was a railroad man. Worked for BNSF, Burlington Northern Santa Fe. He was on the rail yard, you know, with tracks and the trains and things of that nature. More of an engineering side with locomotives, dealing with the engines of the trains. He did that for about 25 years. He deceased in 2012, had a heart attack. So
okay, were trains and the railroad coming through here, was that like important economically?
Oh yes,
recently,
we are actually just about 30-40 minutes from Memphis. Memphis, Tennessee is the largest hub city in central, mainly the United States. All the major interstates and railroads, rail yards run through Memphis. All the major interstates, as I mentioned, and Memphis has an international airport there. So, majority of your Fortune 500 companies have distribution centers there. So, everything comes through Memphis, and Holly Springs gets the influx of the traffic, and a lot of jobs are available there in Shelby County. So. That's where it was there. Yeah.
Okay. So you went. I assume you also went through elementary, middle school, high school.
Absolutely.
Here locally?
Public school product. Holly Springs. First started off at Head Start. Head Start led to Holly Springs Primary, Holly Springs Junior High, then high school, and it increased from there. Then I ended up going to the University of Mississippi. Actually, I got accepted to Ole Miss when I was in the 8th grade.
How?
I was a part of this program called SAS, Summer Accelerated Studies, where they took students and they gave us some standardized tests and see how we would perform on it. I think I did well, so I was able to take college courses in the 8th and 9th grade. So when I graduated high school, I was already like a sophomore when I got there. So I was conditionally accepted, so I didn't have to take the ACT or the ACT. So just went in, transitioned in smoothly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. That's fortunate.
Yeah.
So before you get to college, how would you kind of review like the public school system here around Holly Springs?
Growing up, the public school system here was strong, very strong. I remember a lot of my teachers by name and face, and some of the things that they taught me that could be applied to everyday life and on to prepare me for the curriculum on a collegiate level. It was strong, very, very strong. We had great principals, great teachers. It kind of like influenced me to do some of the things I'm doing now. And I still have contact with some of my teachers from high school.
Who could you name any of those,
So,
like especially?
Easy. Dr. Craven Turnage, he's actually the principal at Holly Springs High School, but before that, he was a biology teacher. With him, he had some of the highest test scores in the state of Mississippi when the state testing was administered with No Child Left Behind under the Bush administration. And Holly Springs produced some of the students that had some of the highest test scores in Mississippi. And I was fortunate enough to be in a 400 plus club, biology, passed with flying colors. And a lot of the students that was under his leadership went on to do other great things in medicine, teaching, athletics, or owning gyms and things of that nature. So Mr. Turnage was a huge influence on me right now. I hadn't spoke with him since he became principal, but he's still doing his thing in the school system.
That's impressive. Yeah. So going into college, I guess, how was that experience adapting to, I mean, you said you had lived in Holly Springs all your life prior.
I answered that. So Holly Springs is a predominantly black community. We had our, because the school systems here are separate, we have our private school and we have Holly Springs public school system. But when I attended Ole Miss, it was a culture shock to a certain extent, because then based on demographics, me as a black male, numbers dropped. So we in the classroom, 500,000 students. I'm like one of 15 in there. Yeah. Ole Miss was when I entered university in 2006. But I had a great time. But I was already acclimated to the life because I was already there in 8th grade. So I transitioned easily. But But it wasn't a huge adjustment. Some of the classes was a little bit more advanced when I started taking classes like physics, biochemistry, and things of that nature. I hadn't been introduced to that at Holly Springs High School through the public education. But I did a lot of that stuff on my own. So my mom, dad always gave me challenging texts to read and to digest. So
what were you majoring in?
So my major was exercise science, sports med. Yeah. So took a lot of biomechanics, motor learning, anything that deal with fitness and nutrition. I wouldn't consider myself an expert, but I do, I'm pretty fluent in that area. So I actually do some personal training on the side now. I work with some professional athletes, NBA, NFL, collegiate athletes. Some went to the Olympics, run sprints and things of that nature. So I had friends, they'll call me up like, hey, I need a good workout. I'm like, hey, where you at? Like, I'm in Oxford. Like, I'll be down there. And I lived in Oxford for a while too, so that was fun. It's real fun. I got a chance. I met LeBron James before. Kevin Durant. Yeah, I got cousins that got drafted to the NBA. I got a chance to travel and experience that lavish lifestyle. Wasn't my money, but I was along for the ride learning, because my dream was to associate myself with a professional athletic team to, render some services to enhance athletic performance. But I'm teaching now, and I do that high school level with kids that has an ambition of being a D1 or a JUCO athlete. So it's worked out pretty well.
Well, do you at least like coach sports?
Yes,
in that?
basketball and track. Yep. And
Did your interest in sports start when you were a kid?
Absolutely. So my nickname is Jackie. My nickname is Jack. My uncle gave me that name because I was, the term jack of all trades. I'm small in structure, about 5'9", 175, but with my athletic ability, I was able to do a lot of things. Like I can dunk, 10-foot basket, ran like a 10-3 in the open 100. My vert's high. I'm I know I look skinny, but I'm naturally strong. My bench press like 315. I can squat like 500, deadlift like 465. I know you're like, no way. Got video to prove it. So yeah. So I'm pretty athletic. So it came natural, you know. But I knew I wasn't going. I didn't want to play professional sports. I'm that type of person. I'm really ambitious. So if you tell me I can't do something, I'm gonna prove you wrong. So so with that,
Just don't say you couldn't dunk.
yeah. So what I did one summer, you know, before the internet was a huge thing with shopping and the social network, we had these book called the East Bay book. What was it called? Where you order the shoes out of? And I ordered the shoes with the platforms on the way it force you to walk on your tip of your toe so it can grow your calves. I had some of those and I ran in those all summer. So one time at a local basketball court at Park, I ended up dunking. People were shocked, like, wow. I did it, so.
I want to go back to your childhood a little bit. What are some experiences you had, some things you did that only a kid from Holly Springs could do?
Wow. That's a loaded question. Some of the things a kid can do only from Holly Springs could do. Experience the country life and the city life. So we're close enough to Memphis have a population of 1 million people. It's a metropolitan place, just 40 minutes up the road, right? I can go there downtown, enjoy the festive things they have to offer. Come back across state line, I'm back in the boondocks. Cows, horses, pigs, ticks, mosquitoes, the whole thing. So it's like I kind of like got the best of both worlds. So only in Holly Springs can you get that type of experience. Then you go 30 minutes south, and you got the University of Mississippi, so you experience all the festive things with college athletics and sports and things of that nature. So we're kind of like in northern Mississippi, we border Tennessee, but we're close enough. So that's why I kind of like got this vast dynamic of a plethora of a cultural mix of people and different things. So, yeah.
What kind of like groups or societies or kind of organizations did you and your family participate in when you were growing up?
Well, so my folks are churchy. I spent a lot of time in church, so different organizations. So we feed the homeless. We always contribute to the less needy. I'm a part of, we helped out trying to build a community. Right now, I'm actually the president of the Holly Springs Tourism Bureau right now. You know, so we try to foster and solicit big business to come in and try to draw in tourism dollars to help build the economic foundation of the city here. Food pantries, saving the families. So everything that I do and that I'm doing now all ties into ministry at church. So a lot of the things branch off from there. So anything you think of, registering people to vote, book backpack for kids, and everything just based off like a church dynamic.
Okay, and then so as head of the Talley Springs Tourism Bureau, what are the kind of things you try to emphasize about the town? So one thing right now, we had a meeting yesterday. I'm kind of disappointed in the way that things are moving. We need name brand hotels here. You know, I know you guys are visiting, and a lot of people visit. So, you know, we got I-22 interstate, which is Highway 78 that runs straight through here. It can take you all the way to Tupelo, Birmingham, and to Atlanta. People are coming through. They want to stop, grab something to eat, and rest. There's not many places to choose from to lodge overnight. Also, get big football, baseball games. We have national champs, Hotty Toddy, Ole Miss Rebels, national champs in baseball. So check this out. All that traffic coming down the highway, Holly Springs is a checkpoint coming from Memphis. You have to come through here to get to Oxford. There's nothing to catch that traffic or those patrons that's stopping. So I've been, that's been a conundrum trying to attract big hotel chains or other name brand stores to come here and stay. But, you know, there's different barriers you have to go through in politics to get those things done. You know, I'm not currently in a position to pull those strings, but in the next couple of years, I will be. I will be. And Holly Springs will be one of the prominent cities in North Mississippi under my leadership. I promise you that. I'm looking dead at this camera. It's coming. And what can you tell us about the culture and history of Holly Springs and your connection to it?
Holly Springs is home. This is one of the places peaceful here. You know, every town, city has a share of situations and problems, things of that nature. But this is home. Now, I had opportunity to move to several different states. other countries, could have explored different things, could have went further off to different schools, but I chose to stick around. The reason why, because I was irritated by what I saw. You know, here in Mississippi, a lot of our talented students, a lot of our talented people leave the state. They move to California, they move to Connecticut, they go to New York, go to Chicago, go to Florida. They leave and they go where the money is, they go where the opportunities are vast, they go where more diversity is. But with me, I figured I had enough grace and I had enough courage, I have enough will just to stick around, because I get questioned all the time, like, why are you still here? Like, dude, you're super smart, you know a lot of people, you can do X, Y, Z. But the thing is, if I don't stay, who's gonna be that change agent? Who's going to be the catalyst to get the things started? So I'm 34 years old, and I'm a millennial. That's what they say. I'm sticking around until the job gets done. You know, I do venture off and travel here and there, but I travel. I'm on a mission gathering information. I'm looking at how buildings are formed and structural designs of different architecture and how certain things work in certain cities. So say for instance, like right now, if I were to go to downtown Nashville, it's totally different from Holly Springs. Totally different. Like right now, once we finish this interview, I'm like, hey guys, go grab a cigar and get a glass of wine. There's no place to go here. You have to drive an hour away to get it. Instead of like just being able, comfortable enough to just drive or walk and enjoy those amenities. So, yeah.
You know, we talk about tourism, but what's the other change that Holly Springs needs to see?
Consolidation of schools. This county has less than 35,000 people. We have like 10 different schools. Why? Everyone knows, and most people know from me, I'm in education, that big business, big industry, first thing they do before they move to an area is they check and they do a temperature check on the education literacy in the area. Not saying the literacy here is low, but when they see a divisive culture here, and because say for instance, if Google wants to come and build a plant here, CEO comes down, whoever the representatives are, they canvass, they do the background research, and the CEO kid might say, hey, my family's, we moving here, we're gonna build a house or buy a house. Their kids have to enroll in high school. They got teenage or grade school kids. So once they do the numbers, test scores, and they see what's going on, like, I don't think I want to put the thing there because the schools are not where they need to be. One thing I found out, we have a private institution here. We got Russ College. One of my plans is to try to get Russ College, our high school, intermediate schools, and primary schools to create a pipeline where we can cross-train teachers and students to prepare them for industry things. So right now in Tennessee, right outside of Memphis, like 40 minutes, not 40 minutes, yeah, about 40 to 30 minutes outside of Memphis, Ford just is building a $5.6 billion plant to build F-150s, electric power F-150s. We need programs here right now. So those students, when they graduate high school, they have certifications, can get certification, go get some of those great paying jobs. They can start off making them 70, 80,000, 100 grand a year and make a really nice lifestyle. But no one is forward thinking like that. So I'm kind of like the renegade. I'm the outside person. So when I come with these big, bright ideas, because I'm in education, I teach them. And they was like, oh, he thinks he know everything. Oh, you're too young for that. So if we are able to do that in this community, because people here work. People here work. The majority of people that work here in this county have to leave the county for work. But the cost of living here is so low. So if you making $100K and come back and live in Marshall County, you live like a king. You know, a house, say for instance, a house in right across the state line in Germantown or Carterville, if you get a house that you can build a house for like $600,000. You can get I forgot what's the square footage is, a 6, 7, 8 bedroom house. You can build the same house here in Marshall County, half the price, sitting on 3 acres of land. But I need people thinking like that here to build an economic basis. So the more rooftops you have, the more jobs you have, the better the schools are going to be, because schools are taxed based on a residential area. So if you go, where are you guys from? Where are you from?
Like South Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Florida.
So the thing is, I know Jacksonville has professional sport teams and things of that nature. So yeah, you know, Duval County, that's what it is. Yeah. I'm familiar with it. So imagine you got all those rooftops, $1 million homes, 2, 5, 6, 7, $8 million homes, or your homes in the 100,000s. Your high school's gonna be better. don't have access to everything, swim teams, soccer, bowling, everything. So it gives the student and the families more opportunity to push something. But when you are limited in a small rural area like Holly Springs, Mississippi, your choices are limited. So I want to be able to open up those doors because we have a lot of, so say for instance, we have students, athletes here and academic students, they leave and go, they leave the county, they leave the state, and they go to Memphis, and they go to these other places, and they win state championships, and they get these full rides of scholarship to go to med school or pharmacy school, but they're from here. The talent is here, but they have to leave because the opportunities here are limited. I want to change that. It has to change. It has to, because I know in Mississippi we get stereotyped. I'm one of those people that trumps that stereotype. I'm an elected official at 34 years old. I'm on these different boards. I'm a shot caller in some areas, and I do certain things. And I do X, Y, Z. But I'm like, there's hundreds, maybe even thousands more young kids just like me, both black, white, Hispanic, or Arabic. They actually live in the area, but they've been told they can't do certain things because it's Mississippi. I can compete with anybody in the country right now on anything. Put it in front of me, I'm gonna give them a run for their money, academically, musically, physically, whatever it is. Because the thing is, it's not like a competition, but I have great pride for being raised here, so I try to change the conversation. So I'm one of the products of this area. I'm not the best, but I have other friends that are way more talented than I am, but they just don't have the drive and the push to do it. They just kind of like died off based off what they see around here. So I'm very ambitious, so that's what keeps me going. And I talk a lot too. Y'all guys see that.
At what point was it that you kind of realized that Holly Springs needed this kind of change and that you wanted to be the person to make it?
So in the early 90s, you got cities like Olive Branch and South Haven. Y'all might not be familiar with it, but these are cities north of here. At one point, South Haven and Olive Branch was the fastest growing city in the United States of America. The fastest. It's right there 5 minutes from Memphis, Tennessee. Fastest. At one point, we didn't even drive to South Haven, Collierville is in Tennessee, or Olive Branch for anything. Holly Springs was the county seat. It was the Mecca. Everybody came here. The jobs were here. So as time started to progress, as I started to get older, I'm noticing jobs are starting getting shut down. Then you drive a highway, you seeing all these gigantic houses getting built. You seeing Amazon moving in, all these big factories with Volvo, and a city that was mainly farmland turned into a Mecca in less than 10 years. So I would sit back and watch. I was like, how did this happen? Who dropped the ball? Who was in charge when this happened? Now, I'm not jealous or envious of those cities that are growing exponentially, but why can't we grow? We're like a donut now. In the middle, everything is glazed with prosperity, except for us. What's the problem? Are we don't have the intellectual capabilities to compete? Is it a lack of effort or work ethic? What's the problem? Come to find out, it's leadership. Now, we're not pointing the fingers, because before I was born, a lot of this stuff was already transpiring. Now I'm of age and I'm paying attention to trends and data and watching other things grow. It's like, hey, what's the problem? Now we are in leadership positions. Now I'm seeing things at these board meetings. I'm listening. I'm saying, oh, that's the problem. We blocking our own selves.
What does that look like?
It's tough because in the world of politics, I'm in it now, and you guys are of age to vote. It's hard to judge an individual's character and what their true motives are once they enter office. We don't know what deals they made, who sponsored their campaign, or what things they have to do to maintain a certain status. And a lot of that nepotism and cronyism has entered. It's been there, but now people in position of power and shot callers that can make policy changes are now benefiting off their position, but the people are suffering. People are suffering. It's just like if I was governor of the state, my family doing well, my constituents are doing well, but the people that voted for me, I'm like, I'm fine. As long as I got a meal put up over here, I got an offshore account, I got a vacation spot in Florida, I got a house here in Aspen, Colorado, and go skiing. That's the type of stuff that's going on because they only concern them. It's a selfish-like type of thing. I was raised to think communal. communal. This is what it's all about. Because if community is not growing, if your team around you is not growing, how can you grow individually? It's going to turn to a dictatorship, or and people, when they see people in leadership prospering, people get anxious, people get rebellious. And this great nation was formed by working people, and that's where my foundation is. Now, I'm not a political expert or a history buff, but common sense tells me if you buy in and if you cater to the citizens' needs, things will work out. But if you go in selfishly, with a closed mind and only seeking on for self-gain, there's going to be a lot of issues that's going to arise immediately.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to know, how do you change the community in the way you're talking about and bring in people and opportunity, but still maintain that sense of community and culture and awareness of history?
You got to take the gloves off. I'm not in this business to make friends. Anytime you shed light on darkness, you're going to create enemies. But on the downside, there are more people that think just like me, but they don't have a voice, or they're afraid to say something. I'm that rebel that I'm not a hero that's going to come and save the day, but I'm a big mouth, though. And I know people, and I can make phone calls. But the thing is, you have to be in a position to make those things happen. So right now, you just gathering information and gathering supporters. That's what I'm doing now. Because the thing is, with anything, people want to see you prosper as an individual first before they put their trust in you. So they're like, all right, Jamar, you want to do X, Y, Z. Now let's put a microscope on your lifestyle. What are you doing? What you got going on? It's like, oh, what he's doing is working in his households personally. So I think he can send us and translate that. Because here's the thing. Before you try to do anything communal, you have to go through a state of self-purification. Meaning, right now as a young man in public office, I'm being watched constantly. Who I date, things I post on social media, where I hang out at, where I'm going, everything's being watched, because we live in a time now everybody's looking for dirt. But the thing is, I've consecrated myself, and I'm not perfect, to be in a position to alleviate a lot of those temptations, that things that pull people down. You get tempted with sex, drugs, greed, different things of that nature. So when you go through a state of self-purification, now you can focus on the business to get done. It's a dirty business in politics. And you have to be prepared for anything that comes at you, because like I said earlier, once you shed light on darkness, they're going to personally attack you as an individual, not your idealism of changing things, because you can be saying some great things, but like if you was making $1 million off the poor, and I comes like, hey, we got to get rid of this guy. You think you really want to stop making that million? No, you're not going to want to stop. So yeah, it get a little dangerous at times. Sometimes I think people will try to do anything to you, but I'm not afraid of it though. But if you're able to galvanize people, you can keep the train rolling, or you can get the train rolling. So I'm optimistic about that.
You mentioned Southern culture before. So kind of zooming up from how experience, what does Southern culture mean to you?
Southern culture means to me, automatically I think about serving others and putting smiles on individual faces. So for example, growing up, my grandmother, my mom's mother, was just a bundle of joy and love. If you guys were visiting from school, y'all are my friends, we go to my grandparents' house, everybody's gonna eat. I'm talking about she's gonna lay out a spread, and if you tired, you could spend a night. She gonna take you to church. So with that Southern culture, with that Southern heritage, with that feel of culture, it's more family oriented. I was raised off love. I don't have white friends. I don't have black friends. I don't have Hispanic friends, or Arabic, or gay, or I have friends. I love people. That's how I was raised. Yeah, we have our values and virtues, but we was taught to treat people how you want to be treated. And our motto growing up was love and kindness, no matter what. You exemplify love and kindness because you draw more bees with honey than you do vinegar.
That's true. What kind of values did your parents kind of instill into you as growing up? Where do you think those came from?
One value that sticks out is my work ethic. Hard work doesn't scare me. I can sit at a computer screen, keyboard, and type emails. I can be in front of a classroom teaching. I could be on a rooftop putting shingles on. I could be digging a ditch, do plumbing. I can cut grass. Whatever it is, it doesn't scare me. I'm not too good to do anything. Even though I've reached some levels of high academic excellence, at the same time, I can get out there and help pick up trash off the side of the highway too. It doesn't matter. Whatever it takes to put food on the table. And the thing is, and not to do anything illegal, robbing, stealing, killing, just to make ends meet. As long as you got breath in your body, all your digitals and legs and fingers are working, blood running through your veins, you can go get you a job and do something to contribute. So that's what I've raised off of, just strong work ethic. You know, being the eldest child out of my mom and dad kids, me being the only male, I feel like my dad was crazy sometimes because he just worked me to a lather. Like when I got out of school, I had to cut grass, feed the dog, wash the cars, wash my sisters. Then on top of that, practice for sports, then do homework. So that instilled in me at a young age. Now that I'm a grown man, it doesn't bother me. I've been to school today. I've been to my commissioner's office to do work. I'm doing an interview now. I'm going to go do CrossFit later on. Then I'm going to go cook dinner for my girlfriend later on. So what time is it? I got time. It's just 6:18. Still got 24 hours in the day. I got plenty of time that I'll get it. I'm going to do it. Yep. And I'm going to read a chapter of a book I've been reading later on tonight, and I'm going to chill, you know. I don't watch much TV, but I do keep up, listen to podcasts, things of that nature, keep up with things going on around me.
What school do you teach at?
Right now, I'm just in Shelby County School District. Mm-hmm. Now I left Shelby County School. I'm with Hillcrest High School now. Okay. I'll be teaching life, wellness, and fitness.
So you spent your career around the youth.
Yes.
Of the area of Mississippi. Do they give you hope for the future, or do they make you think?
Right now, the youth, I'm concerned about the youth right now. When I say youth, I'm thinking of ages 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. As you all know, if you watch the news in any of the areas, the majority of the crimes are being committed by teenagers. You know, I don't know where to pinpoint the problem, because when I was 14, 15, 16 years old, I was busy doing stuff. I wasn't able to just randomly maneuver around a community without checking in. I know it's an old saying, people say that you had to be in the house before the streets light come on. That wasn't the case with us because we grew up in the country, but it's like now the youth, it starts with parenting. And it's kind of like it's a layered thing, because you just don't want to just blame the kids. It goes back to economics, goes back to some suppression. It's a loaded thing. But with me being a young educator, I use my classroom, my platform as a ministry. You know, some of the time when you teach, you have the curriculum that's given to you by the state. Most kids won't receive it. But if I can show you or teach you how to be respectable, then my job is done. Right now, respect is a lost cause. No one respects anyone anymore. You know, traditionally, you know, in the South, they say we have the Southern hospitality, but now, you know, I think generally people are just rude everywhere. You know, and the kids now with the music, the programs on the internet or TV, they don't have any positive things to look at. Right now, I can log on to Instagram, TikTok, anything. I'm gonna see a whole bunch of nothing. Sex influence things, some jokes, and it's okay because everybody has their own thing. But the youth can't handle that. I think they can't, because they are not being taught what's right. I'm starting to believe now most people don't even know what's right and what's wrong anymore. I think we're losing, and I'm not trying to convert everybody to live a certain lifestyle, but if we can stick to respecting one another, it'll change a lot of that. And with the youth, the respect factor is it's on a downward spiral. You know, just right in the city of Memphis, you know, carjackings are huge. And it's 15, 16-year-olds that are learning tricks off TikTok. They can go to AutoZone, buy a fake key fob, download some software offline, get an iPad, and they can go scan a house, and they can go to each car and unlock the cars with apps. No matter if it's a Tesla or a Bentley or a Beamer, whatever it is, they don't need to burst the window anymore. They're using technology. So I'm thinking if they can use that to break into cars, what other things could they do? What other things can they do? They can invent something that can help contribute to society. That's how I'm thinking, you know. So.
Any question?
This is Patrick, just for the record.
Hey, Patrick.
Mr. Walton. Well, I'm a track kid, so I always appreciate a track coach whenever I meet one. So as an educator and as a coach, you mentor a lot of kids, I imagine.
Yes.
What got you passionate about educating and being a coach? Any mentors or any teachers growing up?
So that's a great question, Patrick. Growing up, I always was deemed a natural leader. My family, my siblings, my relatives. I have a natural, so that's how it happened. So growing up, I love documentaries. Discovery Channel was one of my favorite things growing up. Shark Week, things of that nature. I only watched 2 channels, 3. Either Disney, Discovery, or ESPN. Either sports or science or something on Disney Channel, because I used to love the movie Brink, rollerblading and stuff like that, or 3D Mighty Ducks. I used to love stuff like that. But I found out that I had a natural love for teaching, because I always found myself encouraging people. My nickname in high school was either Mayor Walton or Coach, because I had some of the best advice about any little thing. They were like, that's or Unc, or short for uncle, because I had like this old man wisdom all the time, because I hung out around my dad and my granddad a lot. I just had this I was shirt tail tucked in, had a suitcase, I still was a class clown. I told jokes and stuff. I was athletic, but I always just had positive things to say. Someone said they couldn't do something, and I was a kid. I didn't like people being bullied or mistreated or picked on at school. Even I knew I wasn't bigger than a thumbtack, but I felt like if you picking on, I want you to pick on me, lead them along, because I just felt like encouraging. Like I tell kids that I was getting picked on the bus, I was like, hey, if that person mess with you again, you tell me. The reason why you telling me, if I can't do it, I got 1,000 cousins that go to high school. Man, we go handle that. And sometimes it wasn't physical violence. It was just the presence of having a community behind you, because they knew they mess with Jamar. He know everybody, so you don't know what's going to happen with that situation. So when encouraging people in class, we learned how to do math problems or doing something. I was always the group leader explaining stuff like, hey, I know an easier way you can do subtraction or division. I was always finding an easier way. Got into college, same thing, encouraging. And then he's like, you know what? My mom kind of like, I think you should consider being a teacher. I said, I thought about it, but teachers don't get paid nothing. I'm trying to get rich. I want a Ferrari, But come to find out that chasing or just pursuing revenue or capital is not the best option, especially when you're trying to find your passion or what your calling is. So I like nice things. I like comfortable living, but at the same time, our true value in life is in people. Yeah. We get blessed through people, not a trust fund, not a checking account. That stuff is good, but I see money now as a tool so I can help and bless other people, encourage or educate other people. So now, with that said, I teach Sunday school at church now. I got second and fifth Sunday, so I got to teach Sunday school Sunday. In the adult class, one of the older church members approached me like, hey, we hear you doing all this talking on the radio and you teaching in class. Hey, you just come teach Sunday school. And I've spoken before at church. And now, when I explain things, they say, hey, I never even looked at that scripture like that. You explained it so simple. I don't have to use a huge, big words to try to put myself up here. Simplify it. Anytime you teach anything, if you can explain it to a third grader, they can understand it. You own to something, I don't use my platform for teaching to show my deepness of knowledge. I actually care about people getting that thing that they're trying to get. And if I don't know something, I know where to go to and find it out. So that's how I found out that I love teaching, or it's a calling. Even if I try to run away from it, it's going to chase me. Because if I'm not in the classroom, I'll be teaching and encourage somebody else on the street or someone asking for advice, because I get it all the time. Random friends like, hey man, I need some advice about this. And I just simplify. It's like, hey, what are you doing? This is what you need to do. If it don't work, let's erase that and try again, because I want you to get a solution to what you're trying to do. So that's where the teaching love came from. Just encouraging people. I don't like to see people suffer. It hurts me. I'm very compassionate. I don't like to see people suffer. I hate it. It bothers me to my core because I feel like I have that. I don't know. It's just something in me that I feel like I can give. I can just give. And I feel like I can never be empty because if something is in you and it's a calling, you can never take that away. You can't take my encouragement away. You can't take my natural joy away. You can't take my natural love for people away. I'm always filled with it. That motivates me to keep going every day. So that's where it come from. Just being an encourager.
Okay. One more question from me. You briefly mentioned before about your plan to consolidate or your vision for the future of the county to consolidate schools and have a better trajectory for students here. What do you see? What would you like to reform about the education system, not only in the local level but in the national level?
So first of all, Mississippi, I would like to revisit the curriculum that the state is pushing out. We need to revisit it. Are our standards and objectives lined up on an international level, not just nationally? Because right now, we can pull up the data. Students internationally in other countries, especially Asian countries, are outperforming us in the sciences and STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. They're outperforming us. We're outperforming the world in athletics. I love LeBron James. I loved Kobe. I like MJ. I like JJ Redick. But at the end of the day, it's all entertainment. Yeah. It's entertainment. It's they're 6'9", 7 foot. They can dunk from the free throw line. Oh, that is great. I love sports. But at the same time, we need to put more emphasis on math, writing, comprehension, engineering, things of that nature that's going to advance our country and our state. I want to eradicate the curriculum right now. When the last time you used the quadratic formula?
High school.
Couldn't tell you.
So why are we teaching that? I understand it creates a platform for critical thinking, right? Makes you think, plug in the numbers, the formulas, get what you get. We need to be teaching economics, stock market, taxes, credit, how to sustain credit, how to get credit, how to invest, entrepreneurship. The thing is, we teach students now how to work a job for someone else. Yep. I'm thinking outside the box. I want to make you an entrepreneur. What can you do for yourself and your family that's going to contribute to society? Now, having a formal education, having the basics is good, but how can we apply that to solve real life issues? Instead of one conglomerate of a corporation just dictating everything and we're just trained just to be workers. No, we need to be trained to be thinkers and yet be a worker too, but at the same time having an option. So I want to eradicate the whole curriculum, starting with history, with math and science, and some of the elective classes. A lot of the stuff like cooking is good, and I'd like to incorporate more health and fitness. I guarantee you if we do that, our landscape of education will change overnight. Now, I forgot who was the I need my notes. But when the United States first formed as a public school system, I think it was one of the billionaires just said he wasn't interested in a world of a country with a lot of free thinking people and entrepreneurs. He just want people to have enough skills to work a job, to do one thing. For him. Yeah, for him. I forgot the gentleman's name.
Ford? Is that Henry
was
Ford?
It Ford? It was Henry Ford. I think it was Henry Ford. I don't know if it's Henry Ford or Rockefeller. It was one of those gentlemen. But anyway, I know everyone can't be a billionaire or millionaire, but I like for people to be self-sufficient and independent. Now, I want to teach gardening and agriculture. Yep. Try to grow your own crops. What's wrong with that? Instead of being relying on Chick-fil-A all the time, or Kroger or Albertsons, everybody's. I had a kid one time was like, they saw a cow. Like, what is that? I'm like, that's where hamburgers come from, kiddo. Yeah, that's a cow. And I don't eat meat. I'm a pescatarian, so I do mostly fish and veggies. But there's a lot of things that the curriculum now doesn't even prepare kids for the real world. They just teach them how to be a worker, and you stuck in just being a worker, and you only do enough to get by. Now we have families and different organizations where the things you guys are doing now, and I've been fortunate enough to branch out, to break away from those chains of just being pushed down the pipeline of just traditional education. Now, and that's where the encouragement comes in there with people. I'm like, hey, are you good at art, music? Hey, explore those different options. You don't have to just be a factory worker or just get a degree to just go work on Wall Street just to make other JP Morgan rich. Establish your own bank. Establish your own thing. You can do it. That's the type of thinking I like. That's the type of stuff I want to encourage. But if I start teaching that, I might get sniped somewhere. If I get a big crowd of people start thinking that, they could try to, blow my car up or something like that. Because especially if I get funding behind it, it's gonna be a problem. I'm just being realistic. I think that so.
Yeah.
It's clear why you have chosen to be here in Holly Springs and why you've stayed. But you also reference the fact that a lot of the other young people that you know have chosen to move and relocate. Do you feel like in the work that you're doing right now, there is any sort of community of younger people, millennial age people, who are also active in the same sort of work that you're doing? Or do you feel like you're sort of out here on your own? Great
question. It's not enough. We have a few that is blessed and fortunate enough that they can stay and still prosper. There's a few. It's not enough. It's not enough. Like I said earlier, Nashville, loaded. Atlanta, loaded. Houston, Dallas, loaded with brilliant millennials. But that's where the movers and shakers are. Things are happening. It's not attractive to move to Mississippi. We don't have anything to offer. It's like right now, down in Jackson, Mississippi, they have the autopsy office where they work on the bodies to determine the cause of death. They bagged up hundreds of bodies. The reason why, those professions leave and go to other states for better benefits, better pay. So we suffer. I have friends that are medical doctors. They want to practice here, but it's just not sustainable for them to pay back those loans, the money that's coming in. So it's like, I want to stay. I want to help with childbirth. I want to help with family medicine. I want to be a pharmacist here, but I'm going to make so much more if I move here. And then I can pay this off and I can buy this third home and I can do this to my kids. And I was like, so my goal is to attract those individuals back. Give them something to come back home to. Give them something to be proud of coming back home to. So right now in Oxford, Mississippi, University of Mississippi is one of the fastest micropolitan cities in the country. They're booming. Enrollment is up. Anytime you see where a town or a city that has banks just randomly popping up in places, there's money there. When you see nice condos, multi-million-dollar estates popping up, there's money there. I'm trying to bridge the gap with those towns. So right now, the two wealthiest counties in Mississippi is Lafayette County, which is south of us, and Madison County. Rich. That's where all your top politicians live. Rich. I'm talking about old, long, deep money. The thing is, if we can get these smallest towns to buy into what they're doing, we can do the exact same thing. So we got Russ College, Oxford has Ole Miss. If we just follow the model that Oxford has, even though Oxford, Ole Miss is D1, SEC, big football school, big sports, all this stuff like that. Yeah, Russ is a private institution, but follow the model. I've been trying to convince elected officials here, board members, hey, just follow their model. They refuse to even look at their model, and they're winning. I'm going to Oxford when I leave here tonight. I'm going to go have me some great dinner at Boo-Ray, go grab me a cig and get a glass of wine, and I'm going to chill and sit out on the balcony and watch the sunset and relax. I can't do that on the square here in Holly Springs. Can't do that here. Then I'm going to get up in the morning and go play golf because they got a nice golf course there. We have a golf course here. I'm just thinking, just naming amenities that people would probably love to do. Or just go to the rec center, put some shots up, go live, go to the sauna, go relax, get a nice massage. There's nothing here you can do that here with. Everything is outsourced. But millions of dollars leave this county every day. Bordering counties, bordering states, millions just constantly leaving. You can't even, like if I want to buy fresh produce, there's certain things I like to eat. I like salmon. It's hard to find fresh salmon here in Marshall County right now. I got to go drive to Tennessee or go to Lafayette County or go to Tupelo, it's a drive. So those are things that we're faced with. But that's one of my challenges, to get name brand banks name brand stores back here so we can accommodate the lifestyle that people want to live. It's a lot of people here that like nice restaurants to do fine dining, but it's not available. They had to drive long distance to do it. That's why here people don't get out as much. They do things at home.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're very civically minded, and you take your position as a office holder very seriously. Mm-hmm. Do you have any political or historical heroes, and why do you look up to them?
I have a few. Who sticks out to me? Oh, great question. You got my mind rambling there. You've got me pausing and thinking. I have several. I'll go with former President Barack. That's an easy one to describe. The reason why his raising is very diverse. He was able to get a lot of the best of the world from he's multicultural. He was raised in an Indian family. He come from white family. Got the black side, the African, the black here in the U.S., then the true African because his dad is originally from Kenya. But one thing that sticks out about him that motivated me, he started off as a community organizer and wasn't making a dime. Didn't have much money at all. At all. He was in law school just trying to make it. And he started off organizing. And I thought about that. He was able to reach people with his personality. Just a great guy, very knowledgeable. And I followed him, and there's certain people that he has when he reached the peak of his power when he became the president of the United States, things change because you have to appease to your circle, But he's a huge motivating factor. I had an opportunity to read his wife's book, The Becoming. Michelle Obama, and she gave her insight to her being raised on the south side of Chicago, some of the things she was faced with, and how education elevated her and her family, and how she and Barack met, and how she was able to pull the best out of him, but him just being on grassroots, just on boots on the ground, community organizing, helping out, or if the light bill's too high at an apartment complex or something's going on with the roads or bridges. he was on boots on the ground getting it done. So, and a lot of the stuff he did wasn't rewarded or recorded, or he didn't get any pats on the back. In this line of work, it gets lonely sometimes, and it gets discouraging. But you have those examples. You have thousands of other examples to go by when things are progressing to keep pressing forward. But yeah, Barack, him as a person, his personality was able to just galvanize community. He was able to bring everybody together. He just transcended the country. And I had a speech class I took in 2008 at Ole Miss, and it was Speech 101, and one of the first speeches we had to read was his. And when he had to address the Senate, because I know he ran for political office a few times and lost, but he was his personality. It's well spoken for, and he was an educator too. He taught on the university level, and I just thought about him, like, man, from a guy with that diverse background, all these multiple different life experiences he went through, and he able to become president of the United States. And one thing I want to reiterate, I tell people all the time, I'm not chasing titles at all. I'm not chasing notoriety or popularity. Not at all. I'm chasing change. One of the mentors that I do listen to outside of politics, he's a clergy, Pastor T.D. Jakes. And I like the encouragement that comes from those types of guys. And he said one thing that motivated me. He said, this is how you find your passion. If something continuously to irritate you, that's what your passion is. If it irritates you. So growing up watching PBS, Eyes on the Prize, seeing the things in my community, watching things that go on in media, seeing things in the news, I'm like, I don't like what I see. I'm not a keyboard warrior. Type and comment like, yeah, they go get it with this, exclamation point, enter. That's not me. I'm in your face. I'm out. I'm protest. I'm leading marches. I'm knocking on doors. Hey, could you sign this petition? And most people are like, what is this kid doing? He's crazy. Like, no, it's been done before. You know, you got to get active. You know, it's challenging because as a young man, when you're trying to like date and, you know, people find out, oh, you do this, oh, hands off with you, you're scary. Like, I don't want that lifestyle. I just want to go party here, put some shots up, smoke a blunt or something, just kick it. And we can do that too, but at the same time, this work still got to get done. You still can do whatever your thing is. You still can do that, but at the end of the day, let's get this real work done because our future depends on the decisions we make now as young people. So I got a good balance. Like, I'm not just grind. Oh, just strict. I gotta be strict. No, it's a balance. You gotta have a balance because, you know, outside of work, outside of school, you know, if we were just hanging out, you'd be like, oh yeah, I can kick it with it. It's real cool. You know, I'm not always just on this strong horse of just politics all day and just community organizing. But I am that at the same time, and that's how. And I noticed that thing about Barack. He was able to people gravitate towards him with that. He's a really cool guy in real life to hang around. He's just cool. Even if he wasn't president, he'd be like, shit, I'm gonna go kick it with Barack, you know. He's cool. But yeah, that was one of the political figures that motivated me.
Is there any more?
Hang on. So what do you see as like the advantage or the certain potential that Holly Springs has that could make it be somewhere really special that like deserves a place on the map?
The people. The people here are golden. The hearts of the people here are golden. Just need that spark, though. And I've got a lot of high praise and push from supporters. They was like, "Hey, man, you can do it. If you do this, we're gonna support you." It's the heart of the people. We have good people here, but they lack motivation. Just lack motivation. That's one of the strongest things is the people, and just in the location of where the city of Holly Springs, a city that sits on the hill. It's very hilly here. A lot of potential here to be one of the most wealthiest places in the United States of America. It has the potential because you got you go to your big cities, they're really nice, but they don't have vegetation. Have the trees and the greenery and the grass and the space, the land. That's potential to me because you can't make more land. You can't. I can build a building anywhere. You see they're doing it out in Dubai. They got a whole city in the middle of the desert. But you can't, you know, you can't make more land. So just but I know their economic base was oil. So it was able to, they got the capital to build that type of stuff. But our capital is the people. Yeah. Oil will run out. Souls of the people won't. So that's why our biggest potential is.
So before we close out, are there any questions that you wish we had asked you, or just anything else you want to say?
I like things to happen organically. Everything's happening like it was supposed to. When you guys edit or record this video, everything's happening like it was supposed to. It's in the wheel, so I'm rolling with it.
Yeah. Knowing that this is gonna be on the record forever, hopefully. Is there anything you want to close out on? Anything you'd like to say?
Hey, if you want to make anything move, you have to move it through people. You always need a people. Always need a group of people. Always need a village. Always need supporters. We can never do anything alone. You can't be a renegade. Can't be this isolated individual. Think you go take the world on by yourself. You need a village, need a team, and it requires talents and input from everybody. And I always be willing to listen. I don't know everything. I talk a lot, but I don't know everything. But I do have friends and I do have constituents that do know stuff. So our biggest asset is people. It's not a natural resource, gold, silver, or whatever, whatever it could be, natural resource. But our biggest if we as a country, we state of Mississippi and the various states you guys are from, if people can invest back into people and accommodate to people, not for gain economically, but to gain the souls and the morale and of people, I think we might be able to do some fantastic. We can get miracles done. I actually believe that.
Well, I think on behalf of the Samuel Proctor Oral History Program at the University of Florida, thank you for taking the time for us.
It's been a pleasure conversing with you young people.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Bridge is built on the other side of the, there's a pub on the other side, and we've got to do away with the property. And then we go for piers of the G and the rest of it. And they'll go down, that's where we're going now. They'll go centrally go across the Luga, and we go back to Memphis and go back. We're going to have to, keep this blue strip. This is going to be where